Welcome back to another episode of Play Action Fantasy Football. Week 11 wide receiver rankings video is getting ready to kick off. Why don't we go ahead and jump right into it? Number 1, Tyreek Hill versus the Raiders. Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver when it comes to fantasy football this year. Absolutely love the matchup against the Raiders as well. And it's a home game against the Raiders, so definitely even better for Tyreek Hill. Number 2, CeeDee Lamb at the Panthers. CeeDee Lamb is into a whole nother level at this point, especially with Dak Prescott. That connection is deadly. Little iffy for the Panthers when it comes to the pass defense last couple weeks, and that's why I definitely do like CeeDee Lamb in this matchup. Number 3, A.J. Brown at the Chiefs. This one could be a little tricky, but man, A.J. Brown, it's kind of hard to not keep him here in the top 5, and the way he's been playing, especially after a rest week or the bye week last week, yeah, I like A.J. Brown at number 3, whether it's in Arrowhead or not. Number 4, Jamar Chase at the Ravens. Good opportunity for him. No T. Higgins this week. Definitely another big opportunity for Jamar Chase. And it's a divisional game, which they need to win to continue to fight in this division. The AFC North is definitely the most competitive division this year. Number 5, how about a good old welcome back? Justin Jefferson is expected to be back this week at ramping up against the Broncos. No better matchup for him, even if it is in Mile High. Definitely like Justin Jefferson here at number 5 if he plays, which he should be back this week. Number 6 is Stephon Diggs versus the Jets. Obviously, the number 1 guy in Buffalo, and the Jets and Buffalo had a really good week 1 game. Jets definitely stunned them. Buffalo's going to be looking for revenge, and it's a home game against the Jets as well, which Buffalo does play well, but better at home, so look for that matchup. Stephon Diggs, number 6. 7, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Lit it up against the Chargers, who are one of the worst defenses against the pass, especially with wide receivers. They give up a lot of points. Now they can go up against the Bears. This is a good opportunity as well, and it's a home game against the Bears versus on the road against the Chargers, and definitely the Lions play better at home than anywhere else. Number 8 is going to be Keenan Allen at the Packers. Little injury scare there against the Lions in Week 10. Now he goes up against the Packers at Lambeau. This could be a good opportunity, especially because he's obviously going to get majority of the targets here in this offense. How about number 9, Cooper Kupp coming off a bye week here against Seattle, and we've seen what the Washington Commanders could do against Seattle here with the passing game. Cooper Kupp is back this week, and he gets Matthew Stafford back, it looks like, this week as well. So Cooper Kupp's definitely going to benefit for that. He's number 9. Number 10, Brandon Ayuk. Right out the gate, they fired Brandon Ayuk, and he scored a touchdown with the 49ers against the Jaguars. Now he goes up against the Buccaneers, who give up a good amount of passing yards and a good amount of passing plays for touchdowns as well. So look for that in Brandon Ayuk in Week 11. Speaking of number 11, Amari Cooper versus Steelers. Definitely a good opportunity for Amari Cooper after a good game against the Ravens with Deshaun Watson back at the helm. So definitely a good opportunity for Amari Cooper at number 11. 12, Mike Evans at the 49ers. 49ers did play really well against the Jaguars. However, Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay has been playing pretty well. Mike Evans is obviously going to be his go-to guy regardless of the situation. So look for Mike Evans at number 12. 13, DK Metcalf at the Rams. Rams do give up a good amount of points to wide receivers, and DK Metcalf and Seattle was firing on all cylinders last week against the Washington Commanders, who are a little bit better against the pass, so definitely look for that there. 14, Devontae Adams. Little iffy here on Devontae Adams here. He's still struggling with Aiden O'Connell at the helm, but against the Dolphins, who do give up a good amount of points to wide receivers as well, I do like the opportunity for Devontae Adams in this matchup. Garrett Wilson at the Bills. I'd like to put him higher. He definitely has that connection with Zach Wilson, but in Buffalo is a different story, especially with Zach Wilson at quarterback. So look for Garrett Wilson at 15 here. 16, Jordan Addison at the Broncos. KJ Osborne was out last week, or at least was a little banged up. Jordan Addison is the guy for Josh Dobbs moving forward until Justin Jefferson comes back and we see that connection, but I do like Jordan Addison at 16. 17, Noah Brown versus the Cardinals. I put him as a sit last week, not knowing exactly what was going to come out of it. He had one really good week. Man, this dude lit it up. Probably will not be a sit going into this matchup against the Cardinals here, so look for that video later in the week. Number 18, Jalen Waddle, who was on a bye last week against the Raiders. Definitely another good opportunity for another Dolphins wide receiver. He definitely played really well against the Chiefs in Germany. Obviously didn't go the way the Dolphins would have hoped, but however, Jalen Waddle, 18. 19, DeAndre Hopkins at the Jaguars. Hey, seeing what just happened to the Jaguars in Jacksonville, I don't expect that to not happen again. I expect this to be another situation where they're going to give up some points and they're going to give them up quickly, especially to a wide receiver at the caliber of DeAndre Hopkins. Number 20, Adam Thielen versus the Cowboys. A little bit of a tougher matchup for Adam Thielen. It's always tricky with those Thursday night games, but I look for a bounce back for him in Week 11. Number 21, Deontay Johnson at the Browns. Dude has just been lighting it up ever since he came back from injury earlier in the season here. I mean, Deontay Johnson, if you look at his stats, it's unbelievable for what he's been doing for the most part. Struggled against the Packers a little bit, but against the Browns, this is a divisional matchup. I expect them to play a little bit better than what they did last week, and they're going to try to get the ball out quickly to Deontay Johnson, especially in this matchup against the Browns. Number 22, Tank Dell versus the Cardinals here. Tank Dell did capitalize on a touchdown. Other than that, it was all Noah Brown for the most part. But Tank Dell versus the Cardinals, I obviously like the opportunity here. Number 23, DJ Moore at the Lions. DJ Moore had 10 points in fantasy, depending on your scoring and stuff like that, maybe a little bit over. But against the Lions, they're probably going to fall behind a little bit here unless they have Justin Fields back, which it sounds like they will. So it might be a little bit more of a competitive game, and DJ Moore definitely thrives with Justin Fields at the helm over Tyson Bagent. Number 24 is Jacoby Myers. Definitely has more fantasy points as of right now over Devontae Adams. However, in a game against the Dolphins, you're going to have to hit your playmakers, and Devontae Adams is obviously a playmaker. Now, we might be seeing a swap here next week depending on how the outcome comes when it comes to points in this matchup. Number 25, Puka Nacua, coming back from a bye week as well against Seattle. We obviously talked about that a little bit earlier. Same situation applies for Puka Nacua as Cooper Kupp. Number 26, Devonta Smith at the Chiefs. Had a good matchup last week. They played prior to the bye last week in Week 10. So Week 9 when he played, definitely a little bit of a bounce back there. Definitely something they absolutely needed to see from Devonta Smith. So look for that continue moving forward. Number 27, George Pickens at the Browns. A guy who is projected to do a little bit better than Deontay Johnson by a lot of metrics. However, knowing how Kenny Pickett has been using these guys so far, it looks like Deontay Johnson is going to be more of the lean forward for me. But George Pickens is not that far behind. He's 27. 28, Tyler Lockett at the Rams. Similar situation from DK Metcalf. I mean, they're going to give up points, and they're going to give it up throughout the game consistently. 29, Romeo Doubs versus the Chargers. Christian Watson is obviously dealing with a couple of banged-up injuries over the last couple of weeks, but Romeo Doubs, again, capitalizing off that performance last week with another touchdown. And then ending the list here is going to be Christian Kirk at number 30 versus the Titans. Yes, the Jaguars, they performed very badly in Week 10. However, this is a matchup where the Titans give up a good amount of points to wide receivers, as we've seen with Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers, obviously hitting Chris Godwin and Mike Evans down the field a decent amount. So definitely look for this opportunity here. Christian Kirk should have a bounce back week in Week 11. But that's going to do it for our wide receiver rankings for Week 11. If you don't agree with anybody or are missing anybody, let me figure it out here a little bit. Let me hear it from you folks. Again, I know I'm missing, Deebo Samuel's not on this list. Again, I got to see a little bit more from Deebo, especially with that shoulder injury. But there might be a couple other people as well that aren't on this list. So go ahead and comment below and let me know what you guys think or where I might have messed up on this. In your opinion, we can have a discussion in the comments. But other than that, have a good one. We'll talk to you later.